and welcome back to the show. Today our guest is Keith Carberry. Now, Keith is the co-founder of many products and services, including Vircast, SMS Dominator, and uResponder. He is known for his well-received SMS Dominator text messaging marketing system, as well as his daily live interactive virtual webcast show called Coffee Time. Today we'll be discussing Vircast, his virtual webcast service. Well, Keith, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on again.
Well, thank you, Kirsten. I love Tech Weekly, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, first of all, could you maybe explain to our audience a little bit about what a webinar is?
Well, great question. A webinar is, the best way to explain it is an online seminar. Some people call it virtual webcasting, where the administrator or the person that's speaking on behalf of, in front of the audience, it's really in front of a whole bunch of computers. So I could be in my house, I could be in my office where I am now, or I could be anywhere, and I can be the administrator of this webcast. And you could be a member or a member of the audience listening to what I have to deliver, what I have to say. It's used quite a bit with training, marketing, trying to sell a particular product. Quite a bit you'll find that a lot of people now, what they're doing in certain instances, if they have a product, you've seen all those infomercials on those late night TV shows.
Yep.
And a lot of people use virtual webcasting or webinars just for that, and it's really a powerful thing. I remember a few years ago, there was a company called Verizon, which I'm sure you've heard of. Verizon used to have a saying that said, make a phone call, it's like the next best thing to being there. Well, when webinars or virtual webcasting came out, because we can do it with HD video and people can be talking to each other at the same time, much like we're doing right now. And when that came out, when these came out, you can't say that anymore with Verizon, because the next best thing to being there is a virtual webcast or a webinar.
So how did you get involved with virtual webcasting and webinars?
That's also a funny story. I had my very first encounter being online was with a system called the Webmasters. And we created the Webmasters, and we had a great time. We brought in about 8,000 members, and we needed a way for the owners to converse, and there were 10 of us, and we all lived throughout the country and the world. We had a couple people in the UK, we had one person who lived in China, one person who lived in Thailand, and a few people that lived up in Canada as well. And we all had to converse and try to organize our business, and we stumbled upon a web conferencing system, and I hated it. So I said to myself, you know what, there's got to be a better way. This is a great idea, but there's got to be something better. And over the years, we developed something far better than what we used to use. And that's where Vircast came from.
Well, so explain to me then what makes your product, Vircast, stand out from other webcasting services?
That's also a very good question, because one of the things that we found in studying our competition, because it's very important to understand what the competition's doing, there are a few problems that the competition has. The first one is that a lot of the competition require that the audience, a member of the audience that wants to participate and watch the administrator or watch the person doing all the speaking, they usually have to download some software. We think that's clunky at best. So imagine you have a show starting at 10 o'clock, and you say, oh yeah, I want to go watch that show. I go on at 9:55, and it says, oh, wait a second, Keith, you need to download some software. And then when after you download the software, then you can finally, after that, get on. But sometimes the pop-up doesn't work, and you can't get the download to work right, and then it's 10:05 and you miss the first 5 minutes. And what happens in that first 5 minutes if the administrator said, listen, stay on a little bit longer, at the very end of the show, I'm going to give out a free special gift or whatever it is, and you never got to hear that message. So we don't have any software that you need to download. That's the first thing. The other thing that I really love about it is zero latency. That's a little bit of a tech term, and I understand, but it allows us to converse with you like we're doing right now, back and forth without any problem. A lot of these webcasting services or webinars have a delay in talking. So if I'm asking you a question over the webcasting service using the VoIP system, sometimes there's a 4 or 5 second delay, and it's really confusing, and you get echoes. With our system, it's echo-free, and you can talk just like you're talking on the phone.
It kind of reminds me of, the problem kind of reminds me of years ago when whenever we had long distance calls and there was this poor quality back and forth, and then it happened again with the internet, that early stages.
Right.
But yeah, it's true. A lot of webcast and webinar, sort of teleconferencing systems out there, they just haven't gotten that right. So it sounds to me like you've cracked the nut there.
Well, I think we did find, we also cracked the nut of providing customer service. We provide, bar none, the best customer service out there. And what I mean by that is that you can either send us a message over the basic email, live chat, or we're actually live. My co-founder, JQ, and I are live every single day at 10 o'clock, where you can talk to us about anything, whether you're having a problem, whether you want to learn about some marketing tips. 100% free, nothing to offer in terms of selling anything, but we really want to provide that relationship with you, get to know everybody who's using our service, how they're using it, and how we might be able to help them use it even better.
That's a great service there, Keith. So now let's look at, we're located in North America, in the U.S. Obviously you've got the U.S. covered. What about if you're located outside of the United States or continental North America?
We're available outside of North America. We have Spanish languages, French, Russian, Polish, and a few others. All you need to do is hit the drop-down menu, select your language, and automatically our whole environment changes over to that language easily and seamlessly. That
sounds like just a great tool. So essentially, international reach, and so as far as the performance will be the same whether you're in Europe or you're in Canada or the United States?
That's also a very good question. The performance is really based on your broadband at your home or your office, however that is. If you have a very poor or weak internet connection, well, the performance is not going to be that great. If you have a decent internet connection, the average internet connection, you're going to have great performance. And you can actually have 10 people in the room talking at the same time in HD video. You can have the video on or off. You can actually have more than that if you want, but we like to limit it to 10. And you can also have up to 500 people in the room at the same time at no additional fee.
Oh, that's great. That's
another thing, if I can interrupt you for a second.
Sure.
That's another thing that's a little bit different. We actually provide the customer that wants to use our services with more than just one room, and they're brandable rooms. Let me give you an example of how we have one customer using our system. They have 3 brandable rooms, but they use 2 right now that I know of. They might be using all 3 all the time, but they have a sales room, and then they have after the sales room. So let's assume that so what this customer is doing is they're selling widget A, and they let them know, listen, after you buy widget A, we're going to give you a link to come to our special private members only room. And they also have, so they have customer service help in that members only room. So they're using 2 rooms at the same time, 100% brandable to them. And they actually, what they do is iframe our system onto their website. So people go to their website and they see our system inside their website.
So basically private branding a broadcasting station, essentially.
Absolutely, and it looks like it's part of their website. It seamlessly works in real well. Any advertisements they want to put around it, they can do that. The color scheme, make any changes that they want, they can do that as well.
Keith, one more question. I know you're busy, so I just want to cut to the final chase, which is essentially the target market. So who is your service for?
Our service is not for everyone. I can tell you that. It's not for everyone. Our service is really for those who really like to collaborate. It's really for those that like to show off a product and share a product and maybe make a sale with a product. A lot of internet marketers use our system where they like to either show their own product live and share it. We also have a lot of people who are using our system as trainers. So if you want to train somebody how to do something, if you want to offer one-to-one training services, you can use our system where you can talk back and forth, share the desktop, load up a presentation. And oh, by the way, I know that we're running out of time. The presentation that we have is also a little bit different than others. We allow the animation to work inside our presentation. I don't think there are any other companies that do that. The animation does not work with most other companies, so that's very powerful to be able to see the animation work in a presentation.
Well, Keith, it's great to have you on the show. It's wonderful to hear from somebody who has a history in this industry and who's obviously on the edge of innovation and developing new ideas for business communication. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Kirsten. I really appreciate it. I love Tech Weekly. We'll be back.
Great. Well, we've been speaking with...
If you have me.
If we'll have you, of course we will. You're going to be welcome back anytime. You're going to have to give us an update on some of the uses, obviously, of the programming and of the information that or the services that you're offering. Once again, it's been great speaking with Keith Carberry. He is the co-founder of Vircast and SMS Dominator and uResponder. But today, obviously, the website is vircast.com. Go check it out. It's a great service. It sounds like something that could benefit almost any business. Thanks, everyone, for watching.